When I heard the movie was called The Oystermen of Point Lahashy, is it Lahashy?
Mm-hmm, Point Lahash.
All I heard was Oystermen, and I got excited. I thought it was a monster movie. But, no, this sounds like a fascinating documentary.
These are guys who go looking for pearls.
Well, no, they're oyster fishermen. They go looking for oyster fish.
They just go looking for the oysters.
Oysters.
Yeah, not the pearls in the oysters.
No, that's just a plus. That's just a bonus.
Vanishing pearls, but they do find pearls sometimes.
They do find pearls sometimes.
But they're vanishing.
But they are vanishing.
Thank you, BP.
But the oyster beds were pretty beat up. We should say that the director is Nayla Jefferson. She's with us. She's from New Orleans.
Yes.
And the oyster beds were they weren't totally devastated, but pretty bad.
Well, here's what happened. When the spill occurred, Louisiana opened up the freshwater diversions. Freshwater there has to be a balance of freshwater and saltwater for oysters to thrive. But with this huge flow of fresh water coming in, it wiped out a lot of the oysters. And the ones that remained, when they opened up the fishing grounds in 2011, they basically wiped them out. And the other thing that was happening is the oysters that remained, they stopped reproducing. Or they were reproducing, but the spat did not live. And it's because there was so much dispersant. Dispersant is the chemicals that they sprayed to get rid of the oil from the surface of the Gulf. And so what that did is it had the oil basically float down to the bottom of the Gulf and coat the sea bottom where the oysters live. So once they spat, the spat catch could not live in this chemical dispersant, and so those have died, and we haven't seen any reproduction since the spill on the east bank of the river. Not any that's lived. It started to reproduce, but it's all died.
So now, how did you do you know people who are oystermen?
Well, I had a family friend whose family is from Point Lahash, and so when the spill occurred and he knew that I was starting my documentary company, he said, you should come on down, meet my father-in-law, Byron Inklade, who's the subject of the film. And once I did, I fell in love with the place. I'm from New Orleans. I always say, New Orleans is great. We have such great culture, the food. And it's really these communities that feed into my city. They're the ones that provide the seafood that we're so well known for. So once I got down there and I learned about what was going on and the fact that a place like this could really disappear because of this spill, I said, we have to tell this story.
Is there any, and this is the British Petroleum, the BP spill.
Yes.
Is there... God, we see these commercials. They're running commercials all the time right now. BP.
Oh, we're in New Orleans. We love BP.
Yeah.
We're clear. We've put more money into this, and we've cleaned this up, and we're environmental stewards now. Just taking oil is just a little bit of what we do. Now we're environmental stewards.
Right. Beyond petroleum.
Yeah. Is there any recourse for this? Is there any way to bring this back? Did you discover?
Well, what we're hoping to bring the oysters.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, that's the hard part about all of this. You can talk about the money, you can talk about the compensation, and these guys have not been fairly compensated. But really, what they want to do is beyond anything. They want to be able to fish again.
Yeah.
And the scientists are coming up with ways that people can harvest oysters, but it's these. It's basically like when you farm salmon in these little areas. It's not the same as going out into the water, into this big sea, watching the water set or rise on the horizon. It's just not the same.
And they aren't as good. The oysters aren't as good.
No, and they're not as good. So
is there a way to clean it up, or is it too far gone?
I don't want to say there's no way, but I will say that I don't think they are trying to find a way. I think they're trying to find every way to say that we didn't do it, we're not the blame, we're pouring more money into this and that, and we're going to rebuild the barrier island, so if there's another hurricane, these communities will be protected. But it doesn't matter if they're going to be wiped out if these people can't work, if they can't live there anymore.
So it's pretty dismal,
unfortunately. And I have to say, over the years, it probably took 3.5 years to make this film, because I kept saying, well, are things coming back? I really wanted this to end on a happy note. Unfortunately, that's not where we are.
That is not possible. It's called Vanishing Pearls, the Oystermen of Point Lahash. Well, damn it.
I know, right?
Yeah, now I feel terrible. You've had a screening of this. This is across the street at Treasure Mountain.
Yes.
How did people respond to it?
We had a very good response. I think people are responding the same way you're responding. We see these commercials. BP says they cleaned up the oil, and now we see that it's not true. And Byron Incolade, he's the subject of the film. He is Louisiana. Well, he's the president of the Louisiana Oystermen Association. He came and he was at that screening. Unfortunately, he had to go today. But they were able to see someone in the flesh who says, look, things have not been cleaned up. There's still a problem down here. It's wiping out my community, and we need to let the world know. So the response has been great because people, I guess I can't curse on this radio show. But the other day, this woman said the tagline should be, you think you know, but you have no effing idea. Like, because you don't,
Thanks for being with us and bringing us down a little. I mean, it's, I know, but I mean, we're the, I don't know. I love oysters. And
well, let me also say this. As sad as things seem to be, the thing that kept me going beyond just thinking this was an important story was the people in this community. I mean, this is a totally depressing situation that they're going through. But these guys, I'll go down there and they'll smile for me, or they'll invite me in, and they'll,
they
to
find
eat something.
things to be happy
Yeah,
about.
they do, because at the end of the day, they've had these very simple lives, and so they're able to endure so much hurricanes over the years. The oil companies that have really impeded their way of life beyond just this spill. So there are people who are really resilient. I'm not sure. Maybe just the oyster industry will be gone. I don't know if maybe they'll just have to rely on some other type of fishing to really be able to thrive. But there are people who are really dedicated, really want to stay where they are. They're going to keep on fighting, keep on pushing, and they're going to do it with a smile. So
you think they will persevere no matter what?
I think they're going to. I think the oyster fishing there, unfortunately, will not ever be what it was. At least not in the near future. But I do believe they're going to do everything that they can do to remain bayou people, because that's what they want to be. They want to be bayou people. They don't want to be city people. They want to remain on those waters, remain relying on that land. So I think they're going to try their hardest to do what they can do.
Well, we're going to do what we can to help. I'm going to go to New Orleans and spend a lot of money on beverages, and the tax dollars will. I'll do what I can to help.
You're such a giver, Karen.
I try,
You're such a giver.
Yes.
Thanks a lot for taking a few minutes with us.
Oh, thank you for having
another
me.
Another screening of Vanishing Pearls, the Oystermen of Point Lahache, on January 22nd. That's this coming Wednesday, 5 p.m. at the Gallery at Treasure Mountain Inn.
Yes.
Nayla Jefferson, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.